I want to once again just please ask, like, share and subscribe to the videos. It helps a lot for the channel and it costs you nothing, especially liking and subscribing. That is very important for the YouTube algorithm. Please help me with this. It is Wednesday, the 6th of July 2022, and it's a day that was been full of a lot of serious snippets of news that popped out on social media. The world is in turmoil. If I look at Europe, things are looking bad there. For me, sitting here in South Africa, from what I can deduct, the citizens are beginning to get restless now. The farmers in the Netherlands are up in arms and they are absolutely relentless. They are not giving in. But about that I'll do another Skidmark. The thing that caught my eye, and this is quite disturbing, I find this post in my newsfeed on Twitter. Then we will not pay money. The EU puts pressure on Poland. It was with this title that an article was published in the well-known German publication Welt. As reported in the article, Poland was supposed to receive 35 billion euros from the EU budget for economic recovery. But now the allocation of these funds is in doubt. Meanwhile, the economic situation in Poland is very tense. Inflation there is one of the highest in Europe, almost 14% per annum in May. Also, 4 million refugees from Ukraine arrived in the country. Now, the thing that bothers me the most, and this is something that the Polish people should really take note of. Right from the beginning of the Ukraine war, there was immediately a primary role for Poland to play. They received the bulk of the refugees, and what was more important, at that very early on, Poland started to make all sorts of noises, aggressive noises about Russia. And they held these military exercises and things like that. Everything just to antagonize Russia. And I could not understand it. But I read in an article somewhere that the Polish president has got a history with Russia. His brother was killed and there was Russians involved or something. I'm not sure about the facts there. But the fact of the matter is that Poland is a NATO country and they were very, very much aggressive towards Russia. And at stages it looked as if Polish soldiers was going to go into Ukraine. I was looking at it and watching the story, and all I knew is that if the Poles goes into the Ukraine without, let's call it the blessing of the Russians, the Polish soldiers would die by the heaps, because the Russians will not care and will not be fighting with gloves like they do in the Donbass. In the west of Ukraine, there's very few ethnic Russians there, and the Russians would not really care what gets damaged in the process fighting the Poles. But what is more important now is the Polish should look at themselves and then look at their situation. It is quite clear that NATO will use them as much as they can, and the EU will use them as much as they can. And now this story with the money that the EU want to withhold from Poland. I am sitting here in South Africa. I've had different life experiences, but I've been around the block and saw a few things. The Eastern European countries of the European Union have to accept the fact that the Central and Western European countries see them as second-hand citizens of the EU. They have been used specifically in a mission to antagonize Russia. And when the chips go down, these Eastern European countries are going to find themselves on their own, because the bulk of the players of the, let's call it the old Europe, those guys are definitely not going to take Russia on. They are just sitting there, and they will do with each and every one of those Eastern countries, Eastern European countries, exactly what happened in the Ukraine. They're going to use them as proxies. Just remember this, NATO, those people that are controlling it, are under the control of the United States, and they are ruthless, and they are dedicated to follow their mission and keep their own citizens as far away from the battlefield as possible. I don't think Poland is safe. Poland should have taken the same attitude as Hungary.